Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and this is our first run review of the Mizuno Wave Rebellion. So the sharp-eyed amongst you will have noted that we don't often review Mizuno shoes, and that generally was a case of we didn't really have access to them that much, but that has now changed, and you can hopefully see a lot more Mizuno shoes popping up on the channel. The one that I was really keen to test out, first of all, was the Wave Rebellion, which is kind of a trainer racer with a plate in, you know, a fast shoe, an exciting shoe, very much in the mold of things like the Saucony Endorphin Speed. So yeah, was really keen to get hold of it and put it through its paces. So I say it's a fast trainer, it's got a plate, but it's not super light. It's not really billed as an all-out, like, you know, carbon super shoe. For one, the plate isn't carbon, we'll come on to that. And Mizuno's kind of true top flight racing shoes seem still to be restricted to certain markets, but yeah, this is probably the fastest shoe we could access here in the UK. So it's obviously the one I wanted to test first. So it is an expensive shoe. It's £180 in the UK or $180 in the US. It's got an 8mm drop from heel to toe, and that is 36.5mm at the heel and 28.5 at the forefoot. It's not the lightest shoe in the world. It's 266 grams in my UK size 9, but which is 9.4 ounces. That's heavier than kind of most carbon racing shoes, and even things like the Endorphin Speed, which are kind of more in the 230s in my size. On the upper, you've got a one-piece mesh upper with a gusseted tongue, quite a large gusseted tongue there. Interesting, actually, it feels like quite a thick material, you know, for a racy shoe, and there's a fair amount of padding at the back here. So this is really billed as a kind of fast training shoe more than anything, and it's got quite a nice comfortable upper there. They haven't gone all out to save weight on that front. In the midsole, you have Mizuno's Energy Lite foam, which is a Pebax foam. You know, it feels probably more akin to something like a Power Run PB to the touch from Saucony rather than like the very soft Nike Zoom X. But you know, it is nice and lightweight and hopefully very bouncy. Then you have a full length plate running through the midsole, which is made of glass fibre. It's kind of forked at the front, and you can kind of see it poking out the sides and running to the back there before it kind of disappears into the forefoot there. But yeah, you've got layers of foam above and below that. Outsole is a ribbed outsole. It's quite a firm material to the touch, and you see there's a big cutout there to save a bit of weight that shows off, you know, the wave plate in there. It looks like a very, you know, good outsole there. Hopefully will grip well and last a fair amount of time, which all kind of adds to the feeling of hopefully what we're looking at here, which is a durable kind of fast training option that can do a bit of racing, but also might be comfortable enough for kind of easier runs as well. So just a word on fit, because I've just done a kind of warm up, and they're really nice at the front actually, definitely true to size up top in the toe box, just a nice amount of room but a good lockdown fit. Same as in the midfoot, but actually at the heel I did find they were slipping a little bit. There's plenty of padding there. I don't think I'm going to start ripping up my Achilles or anything, but I changed to a heel lock, and yeah, that's much better fit now around the heel. They're not moving around as much. So yeah, slightly loose around the heel, the design for me, I found, but otherwise, yeah, completely good, true to size. Morning, it's nice and early here in the UK. I am down at the track for my first run in the Mizuno Wave Rebellion. So today I'm doing 2 sets of 10 400s, alternating 80 and 75 second pace for the reps, with 100 meters kind of jog recovery in between them. So the plan is to do the first set in the Mizuno, give it, you know, a good test, and then the second set I'm going to swap to the Salomon Phantasm CF, just do a little bit more testing in that shoe and also really compare it to the Mizuno. I think in my mind they're probably quite, you know, similar shoes. They're both fast, you know, plated shoes, but maybe kind of ones that are built for lots of training as well as racing. So it'd be interesting to compare them. I think the Mizuno has a little bit of a firmer feel compared to the Phantasm, but yeah, looking forward to getting out there and trying both shoes on the track and seeing what the Mizuno's like for the first time. So all done now, done both sets of 10 400s in the 2 different shoes. Let's talk a bit more about the Mizuno. It's interesting, the first couple of reps I really had to kind of change my perception of it a bit, because obviously you see these plated shoes with a Pebax foam, a big high stack, you think, you know, soft, bit of bounce, but no, it's a firm shoe, it's a snappy shoe for sure. Straight away the comparison from recent shoes I've tested is something like the Adios 6 from Adidas, which is got that torsion plate in it, and it kind of snaps through rather than being a
bouncy, springy shoe, or a kind of a rolling rocker shoe. So yeah, got my head around that, and actually I started to enjoy it more and more as the reps went on. It was it's fast. It's certainly very fast. The weight, you can throw that out the window here. The slightly high weight here, it really started to come into its own towards the end. I was holding the pace comfortably. I went too fast at the start just because it's a track session. You always do that. But yeah, I had a real nice snap to it. And actually, I appreciated it more once I swapped to the Salomon, because actually I put the Salomon on and it felt fantastic. It's much quieter, softer, smoother, bouncier. And I thought, Salomon's blown this out of the water. But actually, Salomon is a much cruisier shoe, and I found that actually the pace was easier to come by in the Mizuno. Like, I enjoyed running a marathon recently in the Salomon, and it's lovely for that kind of pace. But actually, most reps I was noticing, you've got to push it up a bit here. You're kind of settling into a cruisy rolling pace here. There's a lot more kind of snap and punch, I'd say, probably in the Mizuno on those kind of shorter reps. You know, over longer distances and at kind of slower paces than the Salomon, yeah, was something I probably, off this first impression, would reach for of the two. But the Mizuno, yeah, it ended up, I finished the workout thinking, yeah, nice here, nice snap there. Was comfortable enough, you know. Obviously we didn't run very fast days, about 12k total and only 6 in the Mizuno, but pace was there. Certainly keen to see what it's going to be like on tempo reps, whether that kind of snappy feel starts to wear a bit more on the legs, as opposed to something like the softer, kind of, you know, smoother Salomon or any of those kind of shoes. But yeah, it's a different kind of feel. Like, if you're someone, maybe, I guess what kind of springs to mind here is you're someone who's been put off, like maybe something like the Salomon Endorphin Speed, you found it too soft and unstable. I think this is maybe a shoe that could offer kind of similar levels of performance in a slightly different way, in a more stable, firm, kind of, snappy transition manner, rather than that kind of rolling with a slightly softer foam feel that you get from other shoes. Yeah, a nice first impression. I'm looking forward to getting at it again. I guess the problem is, you know, we're still talking about a shoe that's very, very expensive, and like Salomon as well, it's £200. And I didn't get, you know, that wondrous feeling that you get from some of the super shoes, you know, in that bracket. It's the same price on like the Adios Pro 2, which I'd say has a, you know, a more exciting ride, and it's got more kind of softness and, you know, kind of bounce, and you've got those carbon energy rods firing you along. And this feels different. It certainly feels more like a training shoe, but yeah, snappy, fast one. And for the moment, I'd say probably the shoe that's coming to mind the most is the Adios 6, although that is substantially cheaper, which again might be a problem for the Mizuno. That's it, guys. That's our first run take on the Mizuno Wave Rebellion. I'm going to do a lot more running in it, see how it feels with some other faster running, kind of longer running as well. I think that'll be important to test this shoe with and see if it does, start to tire the legs a bit compared to some of the other shoes out there. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and yeah, we'll see you next time on the channel.